Well, hello and welcome to the Rollins Reviews YouTube channel. So glad to have you with me. This FEMA story will not die. They are under fire. So the fired FEMA employee, her name is Marn'i Washington. She's actually out here giving interviews and she's telling and explaining everything that she says happened. And of course, she was saying that instructions to skip Trump homes were part of a colossal avoidance policy. FEMA always preaches avoidance first and then de-escalation, is what she's saying. So it's a story of she's saying one thing, and of course, the agency is saying something else. The Federal Emergency Management System supervisor fired for instructing her subordinates to skip over houses with Trump signs and banners now says her actions were consistent with agency guidance and were not isolated to her team alone. So tell me what you think about this. I've done 2 prior videos on this subject matter, and it just will not go away. I also have a couple of videos to share with you. So now they're looking into other incidences of FEMA discriminating against Americans. So let me start this first video, and then I have another video for you, and then we'll be done.
More than a month since historic flooding in East Tennessee, FEMA is still on the ground to help people get assistance.
We have more than 450 FEMA personnel in Tennessee dedicated to this mission. Commitment was made, and we will fulfill that commitment.
The agency opened recovery centers, even went door to door. But a new report alleges discrimination in Florida against supporters of President-elect Donald Trump. The agency called it a clear violation of FEMA's core values and principles to help people regardless of their political affiliation.
I think we're going to have a lot of impacts and people that are going to need our help, sir.
FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell says an unnamed supervisor ran a survivor assistance team and told her workers not to go to homes with yard supporting President-elect Donald Trump. Criswell is not naming the supervisor nor saying when or where the incident happened. But Governor Ron DeSantis says.
So we all know now it happened in Florida after Hurricane Milton. And if you go back and check my prior videos on this, Marn'i Washington says they released all of her information and now she's receiving death threats. It's just a mess, folks. I'll let this continue.
It was in Florida, calling it targeted discrimination. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee said on X, quote, "Americans should never have the government weaponized against them. I am working with Tennessee's Attorney General to seek answers and determine if Tennesseans were discriminated against, and look forward to President Trump taking swift action to remove partisan bureaucrats when he takes office." On the campaign trail, Trump casted doubt over FEMA's integrity after Hurricane Helene.
They're getting no help from our federal government because they have no money, because their money's been spent on people that should not be in our country.
Days later, Criswell denied Trump's claim.
It's frankly ridiculous and just plain false. This kind of rhetoric is not helpful to people. You know, it's really a shame that we're putting politics ahead of helping people.
Well, Tennessee's survivors of Hurricane Helene have until January 7th to apply.
So anyway, folks, that's pretty much the end of that video. But if you listen to what Trump said, it was actually true. And I actually did a video on that as well, where they spent all their money, millions and billions of dollars on the illegals, and they don't have enough money for Americans. I mean, make it make sense. You don't even take care of home. You're taking care of people who are not citizens. That does not make sense to me. All right, let me play this video. So actually, Marn'i Washington, her very first interview was with Roland Martin. So please, if you have not check that video out. I will drop that link in the comment section so that you can watch that entire video that she granted Roland Martin, of course, a Black Democrat shield and puppet, but that's who she went to first, and now she's on Fox. So let's see what she has to say here.
Keep having this messaging coming out of these agencies, especially during the Biden-Harris administration, that, you know, there's nothing to see here. With regards to FEMA, they are being now presented with evidence that they were treating people differently based on their partisan views. That is an incredible discovery in the United States of America. And so, of course, you're going to have an investigation. We're not going to wait.
Well, FEMA insisting that the case of an agency supervisor telling relief workers to avoid Trump campaign signs at homes during disaster response is an isolated incident. Let's bring in the FEMA official who was fired over the incident, but claims she has been made a scapegoat. Marn'i Washington. Marn'i, thank you so much for coming on. I want to read this because this is from the FEMA administrator, Deanne Criswell. She said this, and she's talking about you. She said, quoting here, recently, a FEMA employee departed from these values to advise her survivor assistance team to not go to homes with yard signs supporting President-elect Trump. This was reprehensible. I want to be clear to all of my employees and the American people, this type of behavior and action will not be tolerated at FEMA. You say this is not your policy. You're not political. You don't care about the right or the left. You are simply doing your job and following your orders. So you're telling me these orders came from somebody above.
Correct. When I first reported to Florida, I was already on another team. I was there as a specialist. This was the culture. They were already avoiding these homes based on community trends from hostile political encounters. It has nothing to do with the campaign sign. It just so happened to be part of the community trend. When you focus in on the campaign sign, you are violating the Hatch Act. So that is something that FEMA definitely wants to stay away from because it was created in 1939, and that was to protect citizens from being alienated based on their political stance.
So just so we're clear, you're saying that basically FEMA was doing this out of safety. They were doing that safe because they had some adversarial conflicts with some people with Trump signs in their front yards. So they banned every Trump sign. They said, don't go to any homes with Trump signs. And if that's the case, why would they come down so hard on you? Why are you the scapegoat? Why are you the one they're saying was, quote, reprehensible for actually putting this in place when you did not put this in place?
What's reprehensible is they're not being transparent. Why is this coming down on me? I am the person that jotted down the notes from my superiors, and my notation in Teams chat was exposed from their surge capacity team. That's exactly what happened. And it's easy to then say, well, haha, it's her name, it's her writing.
Right.
Make her accountable for it. But I'm just simply executing, again, what was coming down from my superiors.
Right. And I'm wondering, because it says things like when on this list that says avoid the Trump houses, drink water, take rest breaks. So there's a list of things. You didn't come up with those either, right?
No.
So you didn't come up with any of this list. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, sir.
And I'm wondering, how do you prove that, Marn'i? You're trying to save your reputation. How do you prove that this order came from above?
Well, the last time that question was posed, I verbally called on all DSA crew leads and specialists that are still active with FEMA and former to come forward and discuss our avoidance policies, our de-escalation policies. Because to be honest with you, we don't just I know the highlight here is the Trump campaign signage, but if someone is in another, like an urban community, and it's a different culture and someone feels uncomfortable, we can't go to that home. If you have loose dogs and someone on the team is comfortable with dogs and another person is not, we can't go to that home because of safety precautions.
So you feared the Trump houses. The people on FEMA were fearing the Trump houses like they were fearing people with vicious dogs in their backyard.
Exactly. And that's based on the trends. You can ask FEMA for incident reports. They have those because they ask us to report out if there's an incident at home. And unfortunately, again, the passionate supporters for Trump, Some of them were a little bit violent.
But all of them were painted with the same broad brush. All of them as being, we're not going to go near these because we think they're all bad people.
No, because some were registered. Some did receive case inquiries and updates.
Yeah.
Some of them came outside and said, "Hi, I appreciate what you're doing. I would like to participate." And then some were very vocal and firm that they didn't want anything to do with FEMA, and they thought that we were crooks.
And lastly, we've got to go. We're running out of time here. Did this also happen in other places? This was Florida, but did it happen in North Carolina? Did it happen in other places?
Georgia as well. Just ask the crew leads and the specialists. They will discuss their avoidance and their de-escalation methods in the field.
Okay.
And I think Ms. Criswell would be happy to know what's going on, truly.
Marn'i?
All right. So that is, okay. It will all come out in the wash, but this case is not going away anytime soon. And I'm glad. It seems that 2024, and hopefully it's probably going to continue into 2025, will continue to see people be exposed for what they truly are. And tell me what your thoughts and your comments, your concerns are about this particular topic. Do you feel that Marn'i Washington is being made out as to be the patsy, the fall guy, the scapegoat? Was she just following orders? And now, from the interview she did, like I said, I've already done 2 videos on this subject matter. And she said she did not vote for Kamala Harris. So tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me what your concerns are. And I will definitely try to respond to all of your comments. Don't forget, if you want to see her interview in its entirety with Roland Martin, I will definitely drop the links in the comment section so you can check them out. So I consider this to be a part 3 because now she's on Fox News. So thank you again for spending your time here at the Roland's Reviews YouTube channel. If you like this content, hit the like button, folks. Leave a comment, hit the subscribe button. Hey, share this out on your various forms of social media. And I would definitely appreciate that. All right. I'll see you soon. Take care.